Handicap. That's a loaded word, right?
It is.
Usually when we talk about disability, that word feels so heavy. It implies a burden, a
A
disadvantage.
tragedy, almost. But for today's deep dive, we're going to ask you to just, park that definition at the door.
Okay.
We're looking at this fascinating framework called the Handicapable Blueprint. And it starts by borrowing an idea from, of all places, golf.
The golf paradigm. I have to say, this was the most surprising part of the research for me. Because in golf, a handicap isn't a weakness at all.
Not even close. It's just math. It's a system that's specifically designed to level the playing field.
So everyone can compete fairly.
Exactly. It ensures the game is decided by skill and effort on the day, not by your starting point. It's an equity tool, really.
Which is a huge reframe. We're shifting from handicap as a barrier to handicap as an adjustment variable.
Yes, and that is the absolute core mission of this blueprint.
Mhm.
It asks, okay, how do we apply that leveling logic to something like vision loss? How do we stop trying to fix the person and instead adjust the variables so that person can compete?
It's down into 5 key mindset shifts. And the first one, I'll be honest, it feels a little cold at first. It says vision loss is information, not identity.
It sounds clinical, I know, but it's actually incredibly liberating. It's about avoiding that victim trap.
The why me spiral.
The why me spiral.
Yeah.
Exactly. When you can't read a screen, the emotional reaction is, this is unfair. That's identity. You're making it about you.
You internalize it as a personal flaw.
But if you can view it as just information, as data, it becomes an engineering problem. The data simply says, input missing. The solution isn't self-pity. It's finding a tool that provides the missing input. It shifts you from what's wrong with me to what tool levels this specific field.
It turns an emotional crisis into a troubleshooting ticket. Okay, I see that. But that leads to the second challenge. Other people. The world often isn't built for this, and that's genuinely frustrating.
Incredibly frustrating. No one's denying that. But the blueprint argues that just venting, just complaining keeps you stuck. This is where the idea of strategic asking comes in.
So this is the difference between saying, this website is broken and inaccessible, versus saying, can you please send me that document as a Word file?
Precisely. Venting releases pressure, sure, but advocacy actually changes the outcome. Strategic asking means you don't just state the problem, you hand them the solution.
You're giving them the blueprint to help you succeed.
You are. And that is crucial when we get to the third element, employment. I think a lot of people worry that disclosing a disability is going to look like they're asking for charity.
That's the charity trap.
It is. If you go into an interview thinking, will they hire a blind person? You're basically asking for a favor. The thriver, the person using this blueprint, asks a different question. They ask, what tools and workflows will allow me to deliver maximum value?
You're focusing on the output, not the obstacle.
Yes. Companies don't hire out of sympathy. They hire for a return on investment. Your job is to clearly show them the strategy you use to deliver that ROI.
And that distinction, strategy versus sympathy, it seems to apply just as much to education.
It really does. It's the fourth element, leveling, not lowering. There is this dangerous tendency in schools to help blind students by just removing difficult work.
Oh, right. Oh, you don't have to do that assignment. It's too visual.
Exactly. That is sympathy. And it lowers the bar. Strategy builds a ramp. Thriving students don't need less homework. They need the accessible format to do the same homework.
If you lower the expectations, you're robbing them of the chance to become competent.
You're robbing them of their future, really.
Which brings us to the final piece of the blueprint, the ascent. The graph in the research was really interesting. It showed a flat line for a while, and then a sharp spike upward.
That flat line is the access baseline. That's the moment where you've used the tools, the tech, and the advocacy to get the playing field level. Your golf handicap is set, so to speak.
But the blueprint is very clear. The tools don't win the race for you.
No, not at all. They just get you to the starting line with everyone else. Once that access is established, the rest is on you. It's your effort, your grit, your talent. You don't pretend the world is fair. You engineer your corner of it to be fair, and then you just work harder than anyone else.
Okay, but knowing exactly which tools or strategies to use, figuring that out in a vacuum seems almost impossible.
It is impossible to do alone. And that's why the source material points so heavily toward community, specifically the Thriving Blind Academy, or TBA.
Their motto is interesting: strategies, not support.
I love that. It means they're not a support group to vent in, they're a think tank to build with. A community of engineers.
So if you want the actual blueprints, the specific tech and workflows people are using right now to level the field, that's the place to go.
That's the idea. You can find them at thrivingblindacademy.org.
Definitely worth a look if you're done guessing. So we've covered a lot here, from golf math to engineering mindsets.
We have. And I think it's worth leaving our listeners with one final provocative question to mull over.
Okay.
Where in your life are you currently waiting for the world to become fair instead of building the conditions to make it fair yourself?